Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay. Here we go. All right. So we have a new tea that I'm trying out today. It is the Irish Breakfast. And the leaves are a little bit different. They lay a little bit differently. I usually use the Empire of Cayman. And the place that I usually buy my tea had not gotten their order in yet. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy a few different teas and we're going to try some different things out. So we're going to see how these ones kind of vibe with us today. And I really actually kind of like them. A little bit different. All right. So I want to start with the card, okay? So we have the Ace of Discs or Pentacles, or as my husband sometimes says, Pentacles, which I think is like maybe like an arcane way to, I don't know. I'm not a big tarot person. I mean, I enjoy reading and doing my own personal readings with the cards, but I am definitely not as learned as shout out Dove and Serpent Tarot over there, my husband. So he sometimes calls them Pentacles, and I kind of always think of like, I think of like a tarot card wearing a pair of pants. Anyways, so we have I showed it and then I got on a tangent there. We have the Ace of Discs, okay? So oftentimes related to material gain, okay? This is the Earth card, a very earthy card. And of course, the earth elements are related to the material world, the base reality, our mundane lives, business, building things, getting our hands in the dirt. That's my favorite. And, you know, just overall, the state of kind of our flesh suit lives and beings, our corporeal bodies, right? Okay, so in this case, I do like the meaning of the Ace of Discs being very much related to a desire to balance your internal and external successes. So what happens oftentimes in all of our lives, we can be feeling like we're having a lot of success in our life, maybe in work, how much money we have coming in, our resources, our energy, our health, our vitality, whatever it is. We're pretty successful. We're feeling pretty good about that. But then there's that dichotomy where our internal work, our internal affairs, our internal being, our internal landscape is not doing so well. Okay. Maybe we have not spent the time with it. Maybe we have been so busy working on that outside world that we have neglected some of our spiritual work, mental health, magical work, things that are within our psyche, whatever it is, okay? The opposite can be true as well, where our interior work and world are doing pretty well. We're really, really getting something going in there, feeling very connected. But then that outside world, maybe we're, having financial troubles. Maybe our physical health is failing. We are not upkeeping the foundation that we need in this base reality to upkeep that those spiritual spheres that we also need to do the work in. So anyways, there is a great desire when this card comes up, there's a great desire to have both of those things balanced. And that speaks to the Two of Discs, right? That balance and alignment, flowing up and flowing down, the micro and the macro, that as above, so below, so within, so without, okay? So this is kind of going to be the tone of this reading, I think. I see here we have a little boat, okay? We have a person sitting on the edge of it, kind of glancing upwards. It almost looks like they have a bird flying right by their head, okay? And I want to get that in so you can see it right in here, okay? And so in my mind, this is the bird often in flight, can mean movement, migration, but also is very tied to daydreaming, to creative thinking, higher intellect, being in that like highly psychic zone, okay? Conceiving things in your mind, all of this. And I think that this is an indicator to me that you have been doing a lot of that interior work. And I'm reading for Cancer, so that does not surprise me. Okay, I think that every Cancer I've known has been very intelligent, very, well, to some degree, kind of, not always, but kind of eccentric, okay? A little bit stifled sometimes when it comes to expressing their emotions clearly. Very much kind of retreating inwards into that, into those fantasy worlds, daydreams, their research, their passion projects, their work, all of these things that kind of take place in their own minds, or in kind of in a more solitary position, okay? So I think that being on this boat definitely has that daydreamy quality. I think of that song that I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. It's probably not copywritten, but it's the children's song about rowing a boat. And if you don't know it, go look it up, okay? And so life, our experiences are very much akin to a dream, okay? And I think there's very much that kind of almost surreal zone that you like to be in, and that I think you've probably been in a little bit. Out there by the borderlands, okay? In a little bit of a retreat. Now, I see that we have a butterfly, and this is side profile. Here's the wing, and here's the head, and I don't know what the bodies are called. I know it has a name. We've been to the museums a lot lately, so I should know this. Anyways, it is a sign of metamorphosis and really doing work to more align, streamline that movement from those interior places out through into your waking life, into your mundane world, okay? And I think a lot of this has to do with how you communicate with other people, how you express your feelings, how you express how you are feeling, how others make you feel, and so on, okay? I think that, as I said, I think that a lot of Cancers have this thing where they really, when they kind of feel gazed upon, or somebody who has tried to pierce their shield, their armor, right? They kind of retreat back into themselves. But I think there's very much an honest desire to connect in a very authentic way with other people who are manifested in physical bodies, right? So, but I think that's can be difficult for you. Okay, I think that there's a lot of feeling like, well, maybe feeling not necessarily lonely, but kind of alienated, othered, maybe like nobody will understand you, or nobody has really understood you. Or if you have connected with somebody on a deep level, something went wrong at some point. And so this is kind of the marker of, okay, I don't really go there, because when I allow myself to be vulnerable, you know, I expose those soft bits of myself. It didn't go right this last time, and they hurt me, or the circumstances hurt me, the situation hurt me, and I don't want to be hurt like that. Which is understandable, you know, we all feel like that to some degree. I just think within this kind of Cancer configuration, it can be very intense. It can be a very intense motivator to stay at arm's length with others, okay? But there's this want for connection and doing the work so that you can kind of find that bravery within yourself to be able to connect, to express. And I want to look. We have a few little hearts here, and I have a little heart here. I know I say these things, I call them out, and then I just move the cup. We have a little heart here, a little heart here. So, and here's a little one right there. So, and my cat, I'm sorry, she's telling me what's up. Get this over with. So I think that it doesn't have to be a desire for romantic love, but it could be, and you could be in a romantic relationship. I think the thing here though is connecting heart to heart. Okay, really being able to get that close to somebody. And as I'm looking at this formation that looked like the butterfly on its side profile, from this position, it looks like a person with a sword. Okay, and there's the sword and there's the person. So this to me makes sense that this is kind of your often go-to kind of defense mechanism when somebody gets too close. There's a little bit of meanness, a little bit of agitation. I don't think that you're like a person that goes out there looking for an argument or a fight, but I feel like if you get cornered, you can be very sharp with your tongue, okay? Maybe, you know, a little bit explosive at times, but this is also something that you have worked on tempering, okay? And especially as you've gotten older, I think it has been something that you have definitely gotten more under control. Now, I want to talk about, well, we have kind of, it looks like a bowl with its kind of back here, and then leg down. Here's the head with the horns. It looks like it's pulling on the back of this person who has kind of a long robe or cape or dress on. They look like they're carrying something and maybe kind of walking forward. Okay. You know, and I get this impression that almost like this shyness, this childlike kind of shyness, but there's a purity to it. And I believe really that you are a person that is really good at indirect communication. Okay. And what I mean by this is in how I'm saying indirect communication, as I'm saying it, I'm wondering if there is like a formal definition for it, like within psychology or something. But I don't, unless this is the definition, I'm not using that. I'm just kind of using two words together, right? So I think you indirectly communicate well. I think that you're probably a very apt writer, artist, creative person, even like a world builder. You're really good at all of those details, creating an atmosphere, creating even a narrative. I think that when you can communicate with somebody through your work, through the things that you've made, even through letters, okay? Maybe like letter writing. I know in this day and age, it's more, text messages or maybe an email or something. But I think that when you can put your ideas and feelings into writing, and even using like allegory, metaphor, poetry, whatever it is that you excel in, that is so much more potent for you. That is where you have that kind of degree of separation that it allots you the ability to really just let all of that stuff inside of you pour out. Okay, so I think it's important that you continue to use this to your advantage, and to help you open yourself to other people, connect to other people. I think that there are plenty. Excuse me. That was not nice, girl. I'm sure that there are plenty of people in this world that are receptive to these kinds of overtures, these kinds of spaces of connection. Okay. And I think that if you are already in a relationship, you could even be married, or you could be like me, married to a Cancer. And you're already committed or whatever. But you still sometimes have problems directly communicating. I think that it's totally within reason and actually quite a beautiful gesture to letter write, to create art to share, to create things in dedication, in honor of. Okay, I think that all those things are beautiful. Do you sometimes have to discuss the nitty gritty of life? Who's going to, make dinner tonight? Why are you annoyed with one another? Why, how are you going to decide who picks what you're going to watch or listen to on the stereo? Yeah, of course. Right? We have to. But when it comes to the things where you really are putting those deep parts of yourself that you don't know how to share, I think that, finding a medium that you feel comfortable using is a good way to indirectly communicate how you're feeling. Okay. The other thing I want to look at, we have kind of this figure. It reminds me, and I'm so bad at these, the names sometimes, but it reminds me of Tanit, the goddess Tanit, and it's mostly just the outline like this, but the arms are raised, Okay, so we have this beautiful goddess figure, but it does not have to be feminine necessarily. I just think that this is going to be the arrival of the beloved in some capacity. Again, if you're beloved, your internal beloved. And this is kind of similar to a relationship with God or a guardian angel, maybe even the union of the anima and animus, or the self and the anima or animus, however you look at those conditions. Anyways, this being, this intelligence, this thing that is of you, that is with you, that is entwined with you, I think we'll be manifesting in the next couple of weeks, probably in the next week, okay? And manifesting, I should say, I don't mean manifesting, should be communicating directly with you through a dream space, maybe a word that will come through. Look for that, listen for that, write it down, commit it to memory. The other part of that will be seeing a sign, symbol, omen type of thing, maybe a synchronicity in your waking life. Both of these things in the next week, probably maybe 2 weeks. Okay, so just really look out for that. I think it's important. It's important to some kind of work that you're doing, or I don't know, something. But it's coming through to me as that. And let's see, what else do we have going on here? As we turn this, I keep seeing this as a strawberry right here with the little, but it's kind of, it doesn't have, but I'm seeing it as a strawberry. And, well, listen, I was just thinking about planting strawberries. So I think that this is really this is my sign too. Get out there and introduce some strawberries to the backyard. But I think that really, I believe, Cancer, that you are in a very, you have just had a good go of it in the last couple of months, okay? The last 6 months, maybe. I feel like things are really you have activated parts of your creativity that you maybe hadn't for a while, or maybe you were kind of languishing in finding a way, for an extended period of time, but something has aligned in the last 6 months that has really given you a lot of force behind your creativity, manifestation, bringing, concepts into the material, and also really applying yourself, okay? Because I know Cancers are wonderful at getting all of the plans together, picking out all the tools, and then sometimes a little iffy on the execution, okay? But I think that you have done quite well with that, okay? We also have a little bird that's kind of sitting, and then we have a sword here, okay? So I think that with all of this consideration, contemplation, there really is quite an energy of bringing that imagination into something that I think it's just, I get this image of kind of fighting through the weeds of parts of the emotional mind, okay? I feel that a lot of it, though, is like just this fear of exposing yourself. But I feel like it's so linked to this imaginative part of you. And that's what, so much of it is for that. And I think you just keep going with that. And I feel that, you're trying to connect. You're trying to connect. As we all are trying to connect on some level, right? And I think you're really going to continue to do this through your passions. I think also maybe part of the problem though, at times, and I think that you know this, is that you shut things down before they even begin. I think that you can be very guarded. I also think that you take things very personally. And I think you internalize how other people are feeling and behaving, their energy. And you have the special talent of thinking that it's your fault or you're being somehow kind of blamed for, the circumstances of a situation, especially if they are uncomfortable or go south or whatever. But I think that this is something that you also are working on, okay? Letting go of that kind of thing where you kind of take ownership of things that are not necessarily anything to do with you. But, I understand the need to be protective of yourself. I'm so enamored by Cancer people often because I feel so akin to them. I wonder how I'm not a Cancer. I'm a Virgo, Aquarius, solar Virgo, Aquarius moon, and Capricorn ascendant. So, but I feel like there should be major Cancer placements for me, and there are not. So, I don't know. I feel like they are my peoples, right? But I think at the same time, I put all of my emotions on others. I come in and I change the vibe because I cannot hide how I feel. And maybe that's why I am so, paired with in friendship, in family, and obviously romantically with Cancer, because these are people that allow me to be that way, but they also, if I go a little too far with it, they let it be known, you know what I mean? But also, I think that Cancers really like to be worshipped and, have great devotion, unshakable devotion. And I, as the person with my makeup, I am definitely that type of person. I am a very devotee to the people in my life. So anyways, it all makes sense, right? But yeah, I think that, you're doing good. You're doing well. It's just working on this kind of, this little bit of balance. Okay, this is beautiful. We have the night side. It looks like the Milky Way, the serpent in the sky. We have this little creature. It looks like maybe a fat little wolf or something. It's gazing upwards at this beautiful creation, the endless, and all that is there, the awe. All right, so go out there and find something to be in awe of this next week, Cancer. Go find something to just immerse yourself in, even for a few moments. Something that is just totally enthralling, something that activates your senses, your wonder, puts your heart in a place of openness. I don't know. Go to the planetarium. That's where I like to go. Yeah, that place, I could dig it. I could spend my whole afternoon every day there just totally geeked on what's going on and feel like a little kid, All right. Okay, Cancer, I thank you for your time. It's always such an honor to be able to bring you these messages. And I'm going to hold on to my cat here so she doesn't tear anything off. always such an honor to bring you these messages. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm. And we are slowly building the channel, one person at a time, and I appreciate that so much. Hopefully by the time you see this, we'll be at 6K. Yeah. And other than that, oh yeah, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on with you. I love hearing from each and every one of you. You all have such great energy. So anyways, thank you. All of my love. And we will talk again in a few days.